Happy Friday, everybody. This is Auntie, and I'm here with my last video. Y'all, let's talk all things Love is a Blind Season 9 reunion. Let's laugh, gag, and drag on this Friday night. If this is your first time being here, hi, I'm Auntie, and welcome. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to the video. To all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. And to all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. Let me tell you, I am not a flavor for everybody. And I recognize that and I understand that. Having said that, I am going to say some things that are probably going to be unpopular. But guess what? Just listen to me. Hear me all the way out. Join us downtown in the comment section. We can agree and we can disagree. Okay? Thank you so much for being here. Anyway, y'all, let's talk about reunion number a reunion, episode 13 of Love is Blind, season 9. Now, my first thought is this was the worst. And I would say that over and over again. This was the worst episode of season of Love is Blind, in my opinion. In this, while they did not talk about it at the reunion, we're going to talk about it here. This is the first time, okay, the first time that we had absolutely zero marriages. No one got married in this season. Now, I saw someone in my comment section say, Auntie, why did you spoil it with the title of one of your videos? But I just was like, I ain't got it to do. I'm just going to straight up come out here and say, nobody got married. And I think that it is, again, I think that it is basically the premise of the show. Is love blind? It's not blind. It's not. If the person is not aesthetically what you like and what you want, it ain't blind. You're gonna see every flaw in that man, or see every flaw in that woman. Okay? Like what? Hey everybody, come on in. I'm surprised baby Philly Fox is here. Hey boo, it's so good to have you here. I didn't even know you watched this show, but thank you so much for joining. Hey there, Phoenix Rising. Okay, she said throw the entire season in the trash. So look, we opened up the episode with Jordan, who has been playing the game. I don't know if Jordan is getting a kickback or what he is getting, but he has been covering. And I mean, when I say covering, I'm talking about he has been covering Megan. Now, one of my subscribers sent me an article. Now, I don't know whether or not it's true or not, but we're going to go head on. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick downtown to my Instagram. And thank you to everybody who hits me up on here, okay? See if I can find it. So she sent me an article. Where is it? Let me see if this is it. Let me find it. Hold on, y'all. I want to share it with you. How do I get out of this? Let me find this article. It says Megan's glittering TV image crumbles as sources reveal her business collapsed half a year ago. Income now comes from aid, and her secret rich boyfriend Paul covers every cost for her and her child. Now, this came from a website called Fiji.io. So I wasn't sure whether or not it was a credible source, but we will talk about it, okay? Because they're saying that she lost everything. Now, Jordan comes, they start talking, to Jordan about his son, Luca, and of course, he was dating Megan, and the two of them decided, well, she made a decision that she was not going to date Jordan anymore, right? Because she felt like his life was too rigid, and that she first of all, Megan, when she was have dating him, and the first time she met Luca and Luca stayed with them, Megan complained about the fact that his little machine or whatever it is that he's on kept going off, and that's when I knew this is just not a good fit, like at all. He told you that the little boy has a pump for his diabetes type 1, and that irritated her. It also irritated her that Jordan was a regular guy, that he could not ski with her, in his sweats, out. He could not dine with her at the finest restaurants. He couldn't drop everything that he had, right, to be with her. And he said, I told you, right, basically, that you were going to have to make some adjustments to your life because I'm a regular old guy. But Sparkle Megan, who, by the way, has a Range Rover. Child, when she said that she had her little emblem and stuff like that was all glittered and stuff like that, child, I thought she was really driving or something. I think everybody on my block got one. But anyway, I digress. I digress. So, they're on the show, they're asking Jordan about how everything how everything's going. And then of course, they start talking to Megan. So they're having this conversation about, Megan, how do you feel? About everything, Jordan has Luca. He says Luca's doing great. And he, talked about, really nothing about the relationship with Megan because it had already came out basically in every tabloid that they had already had a conversation that this was going to happen. This show is so goddamn fake. Anyway, so after they, have this conversation, they ask Megan, Megan, how are you? And Megan's like, I'm doing good and stuff. How did you feel about, the breakup and, whoop. And so, Megan is like, I wish I had given him more grace and more time to, prove to me that he could be, something more to me and that he would make the adjustment to my lifestyle, right? She had already indicated, I think it was either on this show or somewhere else, that the home was too big for her. No, she did an interview and she was saying that the home that her and Jordan had went to, that was a front. It basically was too big of a home for her. She wasn't interested. So why the did she take Jordan out to the home? Anyway, so Megan, they asked Megan about how she felt about Jordan saying, well, I regret introducing Luca to her. And so, she's, gets teary. That really hurt. But I understand that he's his life. And no, that's not the point. Like he said, Luca needs stability. And when you are a responsible parent, you don't want people coming in and out of their lives. Jordan thought that this was going to be a viable relationship. He thought that they was going to go. And she just wants, it was just the glamour of it all to her. And I told you all when we were doing the season, that I felt like she was dating him with her womb. So then she says, I have my own little surprise. And so she tells them, I have a 2.5-month-old baby. And they're acting like they're shocked. But yet they got pictures of the baby. They know that her baby daddy, Paul, he is sitting in the audience. Some of the cast members were shocked, but Nick and his wife, they weren't shocked at all. He's talking about, what? Jordan, did you know about this? Jordan said, yeah, because some disgusting person came in my DMs trying to stir the pot. Stir what part? Y'all ain't together anymore. So what part are they stirring? By his own admission, Jordan said if he did not know this before, that he would have been sitting on that stage feeling some kind of way. So guess what this person did? They spared you your feelings and the embarrassment of finding out that this girl was with another man named Paul. Now, she said that they stopped filming in April, that she got introduced to Paul at a party in July. Okay, somebody hooked them up in July, and she was 3 months later, she was pregnant. One of the things that I noticed that Megan kept saying, and I'm telling you, it's going to come out. Now, a lot of people, they don't know about Auntie's advice. So I need y'all to make sure that they know about Auntie's advice, because I'm telling you, we're going to come back out here and we're going to be talking about some stuff. So share it on your social media platforms, share it on TikTok, share it wherever you share, you look at your videos and you talk to your friends. Because she kept saying over and over, things were not perfect with me and Paul. It wasn't all rosy. She kept alluding to that there were some issues. It hasn't been perfect. What the did she do to Paul? What is going to come out? Because it's going to come out. What is going to come out that Megan has done with Paul that may come back, because she kept putting that caveat out. She just kept putting that disclaimer. Everything ain't been perfect. It hasn't been rosy. We've had our ups and downs. For Megan, you don't have to say that. Don't nobody know Paul. Is it something that's going to come up that a blogger is going to put out there? What's really going on with her and Paul? Are they together for the sake of the baby? So when this article came up in my DMs, I was like, I don't know what this is. So Jordan said he knew about it. He thought that she, would be a great mom. He's talking hypothetically, although he freaking knew. I can't stand stuff. What in the world? So this article says Sparkle Megan's glittering TV image crumbles as sources reveal her business collapsed half a year ago. Income now comes from aid, and her secret rich boyfriend covers every cost for her and her child. Now, this article is dated October 29th. It says Netflix fans were stunned when Love is Blind Sparkle Megan debuted her dazzling lifestyle on screen. But behind the cameras, insiders claim the glitter may be hiding a harsh reality. Her once promising business reportedly went under 6 months ago, leaving her dependent on government aid and the generosity of a secret billionaire boyfriend by the name of Paul. Everyone thinks Megan is this self-made entrepreneur, one source revealed, but her company collapsed quietly, and she's been relying on financial help ever since. She's keeping it under wraps because she wants to maintain her TV persona, according to insiders. Now, all of this is alleged, and it is coming from T2news68.fejI.io. According to insiders, Megan's boyfriend, whose identity remains private, we know it's now Paul, allegedly pays for every expense from rent to childcare, effectively supporting her and her child while she focuses on her own screen image. He covers it all: tuition, nanny, bills, lifestyle, the source said. She's very careful about what she shows online, making it seem like she's thriving independently, but the truth is much different. This revelation, okay, has fueled speculation among fans that some of Megan's public persona, the sparkling, independent, glamorous TV star, may have been strategically curated to hide financial struggles. In this article, it says news of Megan's financial reality has ignited conversations across Twitter, Instagram, and fan fan form. So all that sparkle, just smoke and mirrors. She had us fooled. Her life isn't as perfect as we thought. I feel bad for the kid. How long can this facade last? While many fans express disappointment, others sympathize, emphasizing that Megan is navigating single motherhood under public scrutiny. Producers reportedly knew of Megan's struggles but chose to focus on her on screen charm rather than personal financial details, preserving the entertainment factor for the show. Still, other sources now revealing the truth. Fans are questioning whether her entire TV image crafted was a carefully crafted illusion. Now, I have not read the whole article. Now, I'm saying that this is coming from an article. I've cited the source. If it is not the truth, it's not the truth. If it's the truth, it's the truth. I don't know. I just wanted to read to you all what someone sent me about her. But I noticed that she kept saying everything ain't peachy keen in this relationship between Paul and I. But Jordan has covered her in another article that the same person sent to me. He has been covering for her that the two of them allegedly had already had a conversation with each other about the breakup before they filmed these fake breakups. And anytime you got to say, I'm Sparkle Megan, mean you just might not be as sparkling as much as people think you are. Was this a persona? Was this some fake crap that Megan came up with to be popular? I don't know why it appeared that everybody kissed Megan's, but I didn't. She a regular schmegular girl like all the rest of the girls. And she broke Jordan's heart. So then they talked about Mike. Mike was also in the cube, and this was the guy that she was trying to debate on whether or not she was going to be with. And Jordan, said that Mike had hit him up. They had been hanging out together. And Mike hit him up and said, I need to talk to you about something. And he was like, it ain't that serious, man. Just go head on and say what you got to say. He said eventually the two of them went out, and Mike, told him, I went out with Megan. Not only did Megan go out with Mike, she also went out with Blake. They didn't have a problem with Megan going out with all of these people. Here I go. Here I go. Sit back. They didn't have a problem with Megan going out with everybody. But they had a problem with Casey going out with everybody. Make that make sense. You see how people have biases? How what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander? Ain't nobody criticized Megan for going out with all three of these men and then turn around and meet Paul in July, April, May, July, June, July, and get pregnant 3 months later. But ain't nobody saying nothing about Megan, but they all riding on Casey. The girls are fighting. For what? Because Joe sat there and told Megan and told the world that Megan was too thick for him, that he wanted a girl who was petite and small, and she wasn't. So of course, we've all gone on. Look at my other interview. I mean, review where I talked about um 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 Patrick getting what he deserved. Make sure you check out that video. I'll try to link it in here. It didn't work. She didn't like him. I'm not saying Patrick's ugly. I'm saying Megan did. I mean, not Megan. Casey. Casey said she ain't got it to do. She don't want to date a man that look like him. Okay. That's her prerogative. But nobody said anything about Megan dating 4 men. 4. Jordan, Mike, Blake, and Paul. But they mad because Casey was dating Joe. Matter of fact, nobody said anything to Joe about Joe dating Madison, Casey, and now the new girl he dating with, who is a friend of Kate on the cast. The girls are fighting. And they're fighting with Casey because Casey has tenacity and audacity. And if Casey was wrong for dating Joe, then Joe was wrong for dating Casey. Because she can't date him by herself. The girls are fighting. And the fight is unfair because they all, joining up like Voltron to make one big robot. Everybody following the news and being influenced by it. And just like I said, Allie sat out there. Now, child, Allie. Now, Allie sat out there and said, I don't know what the issue is with the ring. He didn't buy the ring. Why she can't keep it? Jordan turns around and says to Allie, why keep it? She said, why give it away? Where's Allie's ring? Did Anton ask for his ring back? She said she didn't like this mofo because of his feet. She said when he came walking out there with the flip-flops on, she was fit to be tied. She was done with him. Oh, and by the way, Megan's baby's name is Brooks. I think that's cute. Congratulations, Megan and Paul. Allie said his feet, she did not know him. She said they was like two ships passing in the night. Oh, and by the way, let me put this out here. Tomorrow I will be doing my review of Married at First Sight, episode 5, 6, and 7. So make sure you subscribe so you can check that out. And it will be very detailed. I don't know if you all have been here before and you have seen my Married at First Sight ones, but I am very detailed. I make sure I get the conversation, honey. And I'm going to tell you these 3 episodes of Married at First Sight was showing up something good. Okay? Because Rhonda is showing her complete age. Okay? Anyway, make sure you subscribe so that you can be a part of our live conversation talking all things Married at First Sight. Okay. So let's go. So anyway, we go through the thing with Casey and Patrick. Casey gives him the ring. She ends up giving the ring back. She gives him a half-hearted Sugar 48 Mapes. Married at First Sight is no longer on Lifetime. It is now on Peacock. And if you do not have the app Peacock, then you can watch it on Bravo. I believe it comes on Bravo on Sunday. So it's aired on Peacock on Thursday. They release 4 to 3 episodes that daggone day, like Love is Blind. And then it comes on Bravo on the following Sunday. Okay. So, we watch all of that going and now we're going, they're asking Casey, Casey, have you dated anybody? Or, here, Casey didn't know how to answer it. And she was like, yeah, it's the guy sitting in front of me. And so it was Joe. And so, Joe said that the two of them dated for about a month and a half. The relationship fizzled out with each other. So here coming Madison. I don't know why Madison did not hear him, but did hear him, but didn't want to hear him, but needed to hear him, but knew she wasn't going to get nothing from Joe. Joe ain't got nothing to give. Now, Joe has this beard and this wild little haircut. Look like he been out in the wilderness. I don't know why Joe looks like that, but that is how Joe looks, right? And so, Joe said that the two of them was in a relationship. Madison comes out and says, well, this is the reason why. So the two of them was dating when we went there. Remember, Madison had mentioned that they had all went out during the tux and the dress fitting, and that none of the friends, yes, he did Phoenix. He looked a mess. Some people like to look. I ain't like it. Look like a caveman. Anyway, Madison has said that all of the girls and the guys went out after the tux fitting, that she sat around and no one told her that he had walked out of the session, that he did not get a tux, and they weren't going to be married. She said during this, Casey was at this party and she was wondering why the singles was there. She said that Casey had her hands, on Joe's chest, openly flirting with Joe. And this is what messed up her engagement. I said, you just hunting for shit. You at the point now where you making stuff up. Are you kidding me? You are making that up off the dome, young. It didn't even make sense. You making this up off the dome. The reason why you and Joe did not work is what Joe said. All y'all did was fuck and fight. Where you thought that you were communicating with him, it was an argument. You all did not agree with one another on hardly anything. He was drinking on a honeymoon. You couldn't communicate. You're sitting out on the balcony. Your self-esteem was just low. Did it help for Joe to say that he could not find himself, that he really did not like the way? Did that help? I don't know. Because I would have to think about, did it hurt? If y'all get what I'm saying. But she blamed Casey for breaking up her relationship with Joe. So Casey was like, girl, I ain't had my open palms on that man. Joe said, if you think that is what caused us to break up, you're wrong. You did wrong. I was like, you just looking for something to say about Casey. And that's what I mean by the pile up. The booth pile up. Now, Kate is sitting up there with what you call him. I can't even think of his name. He apologizes, for using religion to break up with her. She said, you were love bombing me. He admits, I was love bombing you. I admit that I was love bombing you. I really did not feel, I ain't really feel it for you. I used religion as an excuse to get out of the relationship because I had another bond I thought was somebody, and that other bond was with, what's the child's name? Was it Nikki, y'all? Hold on, let me get the names. Because y'all know I'll mess up a name, child. I will mess up a name. He was So Kate, Kait, was also dating Nick. Nick ended up picking, child, what's her name? Annie. Annie, in my opinion, had a serious alcohol problem. Every time you turn around, that hair was all over the place and she was drunk. Now, she sat there. So Nick told Kate that, basically, I love bombed you. I apologize. I shouldn't have did it the way I did. She said, not only did you love bomb me, but you kept, you were going, I'll be there forever and ever till the ends of the earth. I'll do, it was just exaggerated. And he said that when he looked back at it, he didn't like the person that he was. He apologized to her. Let's move on. But Annie said that she disagreed with it. She believed that being in the pod made you want to have to feel like, made you feel like you needed to make a decision, right? And so they said, well, you was with Brandon. And so, a lot of people believe that, you should have stayed in that relationship with him. And she was like, no, I should. I made the right decision not being with him. So then they start talking about, the comments that Joe had made downtown to the bar about Nick and stuff like that, right? And Nick said, so Joe apologized and was like, I felt like that because my homeboy, I wanted my homeboy to be there, Brendan. And so I was making those comments about you. And so Nick was like, okay, yeah, you can make the comments about me or whatever. I'm not mad at you. You got enough going on. I gave him a call and told him, man, I forgive you. He said that he was holding a lot of things tight to his chest. So he said he did not even realize that Brendan was dating Annie at the same time. And so he just blurted stuff out. And he was like, Brendan was probably thinking he playing up in my face. I said, young, y'all know who dating who in the pods. Stop, don't do that. I think that everything, in my opinion, I feel like everything that comes out of Nick's mouth as it relates to this experience is a whole lie, a bunch of crock of bull crap. And I don't know when he's going to be authentic with himself, but young, stop playing. So they got past that. They told, Annie, who were you texting? She said, I was texting my girlfriend. And they asked her, why was she texting the girlfriend? And she said, because she was due to come to the wedding. And after he had broke up with me and everything, I was like, girl, don't even pay for the ticket. Don't pay for the ticket, to dress, the shoes, none of that. Don't pay for any of that toiletry for your hotel room. Just go ahead and keep your ass at home because this is not going to happen. And so they had said Nick said that had asked her or made a statement and said that a lot of people believe that she made a mistake not being with Brendan, and she said, no, I did not. I did not want to be with him at all. The sad part about it is that Madison has lost a lot of weight. She feels, she really felt bad and embarrassed about the way that Joe had talked about her weight. And she, he basically said the two of us had a discussion, like a lot of people do, of who you dated before, what they look like, are they tall, blonde, what's going on. He never meant to, weight shame her or anything, but she acts as if her life has been devastated. Now, there is an article, again, that is out that says that, that they believe that she's had her nose done and some other alterations done to her face and to her body. What a woman or a man chooses to do with their body is their business, and they should not be shamed of that. But she has to understand that Joe, in this experience, had a right to say what his preference was, just like maybe she had said it to Joe and they decided that they wanted to scrap it and they thought it was more salacious. Okay, maybe they thought it was more salacious to make sure they kept in what Joe said about her, but did not say what she had possibly said to Joe. I thought it was unfair for her to use that as a campaign, if you will, for overweight women. I'm overweight, okay? So, like, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. We all have something, some things about ourselves we want to change. Those of us who are on the heavy side, we want to change that, right? So that's why I'm in swim classes and, working out at the gym and stuff like that, because I picked some of the weight up that I have lost. But I mean, it at the end of the day, your security should not be on what you look like on the inside. I mean, on the outside, it should be what's on the inside. That's easier said than done. I understand that. I'm a woman too. I can't stand my fupa. I mean, I'm not my fupa. Y'all, I'm sorry, not my fupa. My stomach. I have what you call a stomach. I cannot stand it. A stomach is when your stomach is overlapping. So I ain't mean to say fupa. I meant to say stomach. I can't stand it. But until I get my ass in that gym and start doing all of the stuff that I need to be doing, then guess what? It ain't going nowhere. Now, I ain't gonna tell my life story, but I had a horrible, and I mean when I say horrible, sciatica injury. It is very hard for me to work my midsection because of my sciatica injury. And I mean, when I say a sciatic injury, I mean sciatic injury. Where there was days when I couldn't even walk. So I'm thankful. And even now doing different things, right? A lot of reasons why I do water aerobics is because I don't feel it on my sciatica. And I don't want to re-injure that spot, and my body tells me when I'm getting close to fucking around and finding out, that you just go hit on and let that thing lay where it is. Okay, you do what you can do, but don't you overdo it, because once you get the sciatica injury, I'm telling you right now, if any of you all had it, your legs are numb, like you just it's horrible. So anyway, I digress. But I think that she is fishing and looking for things. And every time Katie says something, because and every time Katie and Madison says something, because she was trying to say that Casey was on somebody else. I can't remember who it was. And Casey was like, look, we're gonna stop this line right now. Don't you sit up here and lie and say that I have been with this person and I haven't been with this person. Like, what you not gonna do is that. Casey had put her foot down. She also said that her and Madison had a conversation where they had squashed it and was walking away from but Madison was making it appear that it was something else. She said that Joe had came to her and was complaining about Casey giving him the googly eyes. Girl, don't nobody give up about that. Excuse me 1 second, y'all. Okay, so hold on, y'all. I'm supposed to be looking at a text. No, I ain't see the text. I blocked her. So anyway, um what else happened? So of course we all know I did a video the other day when I talked about KB and Edmund. Um, and so make sure that y'all check that out. This was just kind of trying to wrap up everything. I did. I did. I thought that, there was some things in this particular episode. Y'all let me know down in the chat if there's anything that I missed and that, you all want me to know about. So, I mean, want me to talk about. But I thought that this was not a good reunion because there were some things that happened that they should have talked about. Specifically, these things. Anton and his drinking. Anton introduced that he had a new girlfriend. When Allie and her girlfriend went into the bathroom and the girlfriend said some things about him, he felt like the girlfriend was trying to get her moment. But the girl probably thought that that was a sacred place and that they would not be recording them in the damn bathroom. I don't think that anybody was looking for a moment, Anton. I think that they should have had a conversation about the drinking that Anton was doing. That never came up. That never came up. Secondly, it never came up that this was an unsuccessful year. They never talked about it and they should have. We don't need a ban. We don't need a ban in the beginning and we don't need a basketball shootout. In my opinion, it was very unbalanced. I was looking at my screen. They spend way more time on Jordan and Megan than they should have. And less time on people that we really needed and really wanted to see. I just did not like the fact that we did not address this and how this experiment, like, what is the experiment? Is love blind? Yes or no? Let's start there. What was the consensus? What did we find out that love isn't blind? None of that was addressed. There was something else that had the breakup with Nikki, the breakup with Annie and Nick. We absolutely should have went into that, and they should have challenged them on the both of them. They should have challenged them on what they said when the question was asked in the pod. What would you do if your child was was gay? That should have been addressed. None of that was addressed. All we wanted to talk about was Megan and Jordan and Megan having a baby. Who gives a? There were so many other things, and I'm sure that y'all can drop them down in the comment section that we would have wanted to know about. And it did not get addressed. Like, really, seriously, when you talk about Annie barely said anything. And then they give 5 minutes to KB and Edmund. They never addressed the things that we needed to be addressed. These are my opinions, and I'm entitled to them. Love is blind, do better. You, I'm sure, have a team of people who are looking at the comments. You have a team of people who are aware of what the fans want, the issues, the things that they are discussing. You got a team that's doing that. Why aren't you addressing those things that you see Now, I know that this was filmed a while ago. However, you knew you didn't have not one person get married. Not one person. So we need to look at this experiment and we need to do something different. That's my opinion. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what you all thought about Love is Blind Season 9, Episode 1 through 13. Let's continue the discussion down in the comment section. I appreciate each and every one of you all who are here tonight. Again, make sure you share the video, like, comment, and when you get an opportunity, slide down to that comment section and give me a hype. I love you all so much. And until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in the streets and in the water. Thank you so much, Ray Della, for all you do. Love y'all. Bye.